All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to talk about Terence Bud Crawford and all the drama with Gervonta Davis. Bud keeps showing the jealousy, and it's not a good look, but there is reports out there that Terence Crawford may be getting something very, very fabulous soon. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back. So, been off of a break for a little while on the channel and come back, start doing the research into what's going on in the boxing world. And I find out that absolutely very little has changed in the last 6 weeks or so. So thank you to all the loyal subscribers that stood by and still supported during this little break that we took. But let's talk about Terence Crawford and Gervonta Davis, because there's been a lot of stunts pulled, videos put out there which claim Terence Crawford is saying something about Gervonta. We have actual text, tweets going back between Gervonta and Bud. And honestly, man, I think it's really good for boxing. But let's talk about each one of them. But before I do, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you're not new, thank you for subscribing to the channel. And thank you to everybody that supports in the super thanks of the videos like this. Now, let's get into it, because first, during the time off over the last couple of weeks, I made sure to watch a lot of boxing. Something, honestly, man, I don't have a lot of time when I'm doing these videos for you guys every day to just sit down and watch a whole day's worth of boxing. But hey, I subscribed to, we made a move. My wife and I moved houses, and we moved into an area where now AT&T is available for our internet provider. So in sitting up there with AT&T, we got a whole bunch of new channels, and a couple of these channels with Prime, Amazon Prime, are really putting out a lot of boxing content. HBO Boxing has its own channel, as does the Amazon is continuing to show fights from more PBC fights. And it's like back to back to back to back. But in doing so, I got to see a lot of Terence Crawford fights. I got to see a lot of Gervonta Davis's fights. And even though these guys are going back, and Gervonta comes out and says, hey, I'm about to do something that is fantastic, or can't wait to really do this really big thing, right? Which is obviously, you think that he was talking about boxing, but Terence Crawford responds in a kind of snarky way and says, yeah, well, I can't wait to see you do something. And then so they go back and forth, and Terence's conclusion is that Gervonta must be mad because he wasn't invited to the Ring Magazine gala, which is, a gala is a big ball that goes on. Now, first and foremost, Terence Crawford and Gervonta Davis are my favorite fighters. As far as how good they are in the ring, I think Gervonta Davis is 1 or 2. Terence Crawford is 1 or 2. But, the legacy of Terence Crawford and the amount of fights he's had, you got to go ahead and give that nod to Terence Crawford. But Terence Crawford is not in the league of Gervonta Davis in certain fashions, and he's not any better in some other ones. So really, I think Terence Crawford would be best be served to hold his tongue and his kind of snarky rapport, whatever you call it, snarky conversations, and save it for Canelo Alvarez, who he has a decent chance of fighting. And I have heard, I'm going to do a separate video on it, that there has been an agreement to terms between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. So him having that to look forward to, I think that's all he should probably be talking about. Doesn't make a lot of sense to, first of all, digging Gervonta Davis, who, like I said, if you look at the people that he's competed against and the people that Terence Crawford has competed against, I would say that is as far as the quality of fighters, it's a very even matchup. Right now, and it's also, if you look at the number of weight classes, it's not too far off, right? One guy is 30-0, the other guy is 40 and 0. if Gervonta Davis had more, easy fights early in his career, he'd be there too. But not to say that Gervonta Davis shouldn't go out there and fight guys like Lomachenko, who refused to fight him, at least during the time frame that the fight was offered. Same thing for Shakur Stevenson, who was clearly got other things to do. There are people out there that people want to see Gervonta fight. But the same thing can be said of Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford at 147 did not fight Jaron Ennis. He doesn't look like at 154 he has any intention on fighting Jermell Charlo or Sebastian Fundora or rematching Errol Spence Jr. Not saying that he has to do that, because if he gets the Canelo Alvarez fight, who could argue about that, right? I certainly wouldn't argue about it. But if you look at their resumes, really, Terence Crawford has the edge because of the amount of times twice that he collected all of the belts. And I don't think that should be, that should not be underestimated. But at the same time, you don't want to underestimate Gervonta Davis and the people that Gervonta has fought that after Gervonta fought him went on to be world champions. Guys like Jose Pedraza, who he won the IBF 130-pound title from. He moved up to 135 and became a world champion. You have guys like Rolly Romero, even though a lot of people, don't believe he won that fight. Whatever the case is, he moved up and became a world champion. Devin Haney lost to a guy, Ryan Garcia, that Gervonta Davis beat. The welterweight champion of the world right now, the WBC, is Mario Barrios, at least unless that's changed in the couple of weeks since I've been away. Was a champion at 140 and now is a champion at 147 that Gervonta beat. I don't know if there's anybody that applies to the Terence Crawford fought. Terence Crawford beat a lot of guys in title fights, and with the exception of maybe Ricky Burns, I don't know if any of them have ever moved up and then won another title. I don't think that ever happened. So looking at the two of these guys and what they did competitively and what their skill sets are in a ring, both of them are fantastic fighters and not too off from one another. The big difference is, of course, Terence had more fights, but Gervonta has bigger fights, and he has fights where he doesn't lose money. And that shouldn't be, like, again, that's the importance of that should not be understated. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. All of the back and forth just seems to be pettiness, but on Terence Crawford's part, Gervonta Davis responding to him seems to be equally snarky. But, there's talk again of Canelo and Terence Crawford's fight being done or being close to getting figured out. I'll do another video about that. I just want to see Gervonta back in the ring. All that drama about the fight not taking place in Houston in December. Come on, Gervonta, announce that next fight card so I can be amped about it. But anyway, man, just want to let you know that, hey, I am back. Thank you guys. It's a little bit of a change of scenery. I'm going to put some stuff behind me, but as of right now, moved into a new house and I'm still waiting for all the furniture and pictures to get put up, which probably might take the next few weeks. Anyway, much love to everybody out there. Holler at you on the next one. Deuces.